So these post caps were in terrible shape. My husband blew this poor little light just clean off with the snowblower this past winter. And these are just pavers anyway. I hate this edge, so I really needed to do something about them. So decided to do what any sane person would do, and of course create my own concrete mold and pour my own concrete. Yeah, you can actually buy these, and yeah, a sane person probably would do that, but that's not me. So here we are doing it ourselves from scratch. So I found this live edge rubber mold on Amazon. I'll link that below. So there's no rebar here at all. So I did like a quick 13-second Google, and it did not seem like it was necessary to put rebar in here. But I did pick up the maximum strength concrete with the fiberglass mixed in, so figure that should do the trick. Oh, and I did oil up the form just a little bit with this vegetable oil. I also saw this in my quick Google, that it's just supposed to help it release a little bit better from the form. I don't know if it actually did anything, but I did it and it came out of the form just fine. So for this first one, I did the mix in this tiny little paint tray, like plastic liner thing. It was definitely way too small. For the other ones, I used a much bigger bucket, and that was much better. And then, yeah, I don't know what I was doing. I really got in there with this drywall knife, and but yeah, I do promise it gets better from here on out. So anyway, I got my 15 trays of concrete mixed up and got this thing filled up. Yeah, I ended up recruiting my husband a little bit to help get some of those air bubbles out. Hello. Hi, sweetie. Would you mind coming out here with your Theragun? Pretty please. All right, so here's my different scheme. It has to be vibrated. Oh, look at that. I can see it kind of going. After we got all those air bubbles out, it was just kind of letting it sit and set. I did come in here every handful of hours or so and spray it down with water. Just make sure it's curing well. Other than that, pretty much just left it for a couple of days. All right, it is time to get this out of the mold. Oh, look at that. Oh, wow. That is perfect. Nice. It looks like the paper towel dam held fairly well. Alright, this edge is looking pretty good. It did get a little space in here between the mold and the concrete, but pretty good overall. Let's see what this looks like. Not bad. I'm pretty happy with that. Alright, we'll just see if it comes off of this laminate countertop. Look at that. Oh, that's not what I was expecting. There's really a lot of holes. Yeah, so the bottom, I don't know if I poured it way too dry at the beginning or what, but there's just a whole lot of air bubbles in the bottom here. I did try to do the ratios, what it said to do on the bag. Yeah, reading a little bit more since then, you definitely want more of a wetter mix. I do make it a lot wetter for the subsequent ones, but yeah. So here I am setting everything up again for another pour. This time I had all the holes drilled, so it was pretty easy just lining everything up again. I didn't show this the first time, but I just caulked around every possible edge, so the form to the countertop and then the corners of the forms, just with some basic silicone caulk, any gap that I could see so that there wasn't any room that the concrete could seep out of. Then I just did my best to smooth that out. And then I used that same concrete mix again, like I said, in a much more reasonably sized bucket this time. So I was really worried that the bottom side of this would turn out super pitted again. So I tried really hard to make the top level and smooth. So here I am just screeding it a little bit with like a scrap piece of wood. And then I really went overkill with the Theragun, trying to make sure I could get out as many bubbles as I could. I went around like all the sides. I was even like crawling under this thing. But yeah, I was really determined to make sure that it was like perfectly smooth under there. So I was doing everything I possibly could to make that happen. And luckily it got a bit warmer for the second one, so that was nice. I had the garage door open here for this one. That first one probably went wrong just because the mix was so dry, but I'm kind of thinking the temperature have impacted that first pour a little bit also. I don't know. If there's any like concrete experts, let me know. Maybe it's probably both of those things that contributed to it. But yeah, these turned out so much better the second time. The wet mix was definitely the way to go. But yeah, pulled them out of the forms, and then all that is left to do is screw the lights on. Yeah, this turned out much nicer. This is pretty. So I got some solar lights. These are just from Amazon. I will see if I can link these below. These did end up breaking, so I think I'm probably gonna have to get new ones again anyway. So I don't know if you want these specific ones, but I will link them. Just fair warning. The top here that is showing is that bottom side of what was facing the laminate that I'm screwing this into. They just turned out absolutely awesome in my opinion. I love these. Yeah, and back out to these posts. So I checked and these were definitely not level, which is not surprising because they are just pavers stacked on dirt. Yeah, and they're gonna stay pavers stacked on dirt whether they like it or not. Or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna try and level it out just a little bit. If I was gonna do this right, I would dig it out a little bit and put some gravel base in. But for now, this is already looking so much better. And for the second one, you can really see how much it was leaning. Didn't glue any of this in. This is just a slight improvement on the stacked pavers that were kind of here. But yeah, and then just stack it back up and throw the lights on top. But yeah, here's the before and after again. Absolutely love these. I did save a little bit of money doing it myself. If I had to do it again, I would definitely just buy some live edge pillar caps. But yeah, anyway, this was really neat to try out. And yeah, let me know. What do you guys think about this? Would you try to do this? It's definitely an interesting learning experience. This was one of the first things we were doing with the house. We have a ton more projects lined up, filmed, and ready to go. So if you like this video, make sure you subscribe so you can see those when they come out. There are some crazy transformations that have happened with this house. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.